Ohio State will be in their predominantly gray uniforms with scarlet numbers, and you'll see Northwestern in the white jerseys with black numbering and pipeline. I beg your pardon, purple numbering and black pipeline. Underway, it is 75 degrees. I don't know if it's August 23rd or October 23rd. It's very comfortable. Winds are blowing about 10 miles an hour from right to left across your screen coming out of the south. The Ohio State Buckeyes and the Northwestern Wildcats. The Buckeyes have largely played pretty well in the all-time series history against Northwestern, including winning each of the last 4 regular season meetings. A 2-1 victory for the Buckeyes last year. Kayla Fisher scored the game-winning goal in that game. Ohio State with a turnover early on. Good opportunity here for Meg Bodie. From a long distance, just tries to measure up and sees what Molly Pritchard is ready for.
And that's interesting there at the start of the game. You know you're going to get this from Ohio State. They like to open up. They like to play. They're expansive out their back 4. 2 centre backs opening up, but have got to be very, very careful and diligent not to turn the ball over. Bodie with an early opportunity. Pritchard will be delighted to get a comfortable save under her belt.
Phillips, Doucette, and Danica Austin working along the left and backside of the formation. Ohio State, of course, trying to play as much as they can through their powerful offensive players. Fisher and Sears will at times move on either side of the field, but predominantly you'll see Kayla play on the left, Emma on the right, and Kaylin Dudukovic down the middle of the park. Dudukovic out of Westchester, Ohio in the Cincinnati
Here's a chance
area.
here. Sears has won the ball.
Emma Sears makes her way toward the middle of the 18. She got stuffed and it was cleared away.
It's a huge challenge from Austin. It's a little bit sloppy at the back from Northwestern. Sears steals the ball. She gets inside. Maybe a heavy touch from her, and Austin does ever so well to get across and get the block in.
So Northwestern throw-in coming just a couple of minutes into action. Wildcats have had a great year. 12-3-2 overall. They come in ranked 13th in the country. 6-2-1 in conference play. Looking for a play down the middle, and Ella Gianola was knocked off the ball. 17th match of the season and the final tune-up for the Ohio State Buckeyes before Big Ten Conference play starts. Both of these two teams feel pretty good about their chances to host, but it's not guaranteed for Ohio State. Northwestern, it would take something pretty seismic for them to be knocked down out of a hosting spot. It is possible, but I would say it's unlikely. Northwestern looking pretty good for having a chance to host a quarterfinal game next weekend. Good long ball played ahead.
Pritchard quite comfortable there just to see her out. Initially I thought she needed to come off her line, but clearly she knew what she was doing there. Quite happy to see the ball out, and you're going to expect this today. Obviously, we said it's high-stakes game. If you win, you know, all the permutations and how much it could change today. So first couple of minutes, I would expect to see a little bit helter-skelter before the game actually settles down.
Good toughness on the far side. Northwestern wins it. Looking for a play down the middle. Wildcats want to go on the left-hand side through Haas. Haas scored in 2 of her last 3. That one's knocked well off the line.
It's a good turn, though, from Aliciano. It's nice play initially, as you say. Haas plays it inside. She rolls her defender ever so well. You can see what she's looking to do. Just get a strike off on her right foot. Unfortunately, gets it all wrong.
Rhea Del Carmen will run the point offensively as the center striker. Let's see if they get her a bit more involved than they have here early on. Two teams that offensively have a whole heck of a lot of power, that's for sure. Question, though, is who can win maybe more of the 50-50 balls in the midfield today? As Ohio State makes a small mistake there, Emma Sears knocks it out of play. tactically, what are you seeing so far from Northwestern?
So it's interesting here, as I was saying, sort of pre-game, we were expecting the 3-6-1 in the box in the middle of the park, and that does look like the way they're going to go today. I was curious, they've changed it on occasion recently to a back four, and I was wondering if they were going to do that today. That's not the case. It is the box in the middle of the park for them. So what it does is the way Ohio State have set up, they're a 4-3-3, pretty much as we'd expected. So there's going to be occasions where the Wildcats are going to have a numerical advantage in the middle of the park. There's going to be times where one of the Ohio State backline is going to have to step in and make sure that they're picking up a midfielder.
Tough break there. Flag goes up for offside. Otherwise, Ohio State may have had a great look there.
Yeah, good early look. Linesman's right over it and quite happy to flag. He's in a good position for that one. But just to go back to the earlier point, the box in the middle of the park, what it'll do for the Wildcats is there'll be occasions where they've got a 2v1 advantage in there. So there'll be times where Bodie can pick up the ball or Aliciano can pick up the ball. And it's a really big job for Jones Black just to screen in front of her back four here and try and make sure she's picking up who she needs to be picking up, or she's communicating to teammates to make sure somebody gets picking up.
Molly Pritchard with a bit of a gamble there. It worked out okay. Unfortunately, Ohio State allowed only one goal against Michigan State, and it was on a defensive breakdown when Pritchard accidentally took out Brooke Otto when they both went for the ball, and it kind of sputtered away from both of them and allowed for kind of a soft goal, but they all count the same. When it crosses the line, that's that. Northwestern's had a whole lot of energy here early on. Good cross played into the middle. Chested down by Loppe. Del Carmen plays it out wide to the right. A chance for Gilbertson. Ohio State with tight defense. 7th minute, no score. Ohio State and Northwestern.
And nobody's really got a hold of the game so far yet. Northwestern have started full of energy. A little chance, obviously, for Ohio State with Sears at one point. But, again, it's one of those games that you're talking, it's mid-70 degrees today, so unexpectedly warm for this time of year. So much at stake as well. First 15 minutes really are going to be hectic before the game starts to settle down and take shape.
Not many clouds to speak of. Super bright sunny skies, and as you referenced, it's pretty warm, although I wouldn't call it hot. It's just a warm afternoon. Ohio State with a good play there in the corner. They win the throw. Erin Gasick, the Buckeyes left back, has played really well when she's gotten opportunities, especially the last couple of weeks. We've got a Northwestern throw in the corner. Unfortunately for Ohio State, arguably one of their best defensive players, Olivia Sensky, certainly one of their veteran players, a graduate transfer, out for the year. Brooke Otto has filled in admirably at center back.
Yeah, it was a huge loss, the injury to her. She was playing ever so well. Watched her a few times this season, and she actually great distribution for the back line as well, just as we see Northwestern getting forward here again.
Kenny Jones-Black steps in the passing lane. This is Del Carmen holding. Gianola trying to make life difficult on her. Jones-Black is smothering Gilbertson. Well done by Ohio State.
Yeah, it's really good defending there. Fisher picked up the ball, was looking to see if there was a breakaway on, but excellent again from Austin. Twice already we've mentioned her in a good position in dealing with the danger.
Brooke Otto steps in the way there. Persistent effort from Haas. And slowly rolls across the end line. So Ella Haas has scored 2 of her 4 goals this season in 2 of the last 3 games. Last couple times out when Northwestern ended up dropping frustrating results, they did so by falling behind in the first half and not really giving themselves a good way to climb out of it. They lost a really good game to Michigan State 2-1. Gave up 2 goals in the first half, scored in the second half.
It's interesting to see them today, actually. You're talking about it there, the first goal and how crucial it could be in today's game. They're quite happy to step up and press. You see a lot of teams that will drop off Ohio State, sit back, let them have the ball. Not the case today. Northwestern stepping onto them, quite happy to go press them when the opportunity presents itself.
Gilbertson not happy. Good tackle from Fisher, and Ohio State wins the throw. Look how high up the field Northwestern is pressing the Buckeyes. Last time out, senior night in Evanston, and it was not really the night they had in mind, falling to the Iowa Hawkeyes 2-1. And look, Iowa's had a good year. It's not a bad loss. Iowa's a decent team. But it certainly is not a loss to one of the more upper echelon teams in the league. It feels like there's a bit of separation up at the top of the table.
And it's the wrong time of year as well. It's starting to be picking up the odd defeat. I mean, earlier in the season, they've been so consistent in picking up win after win, having a very good season. Round about this time of the year is you want to be hitting your stride at your best, not picking up the odd loss coming into the conference tournament.
Free kick in a tough spot. Let's see what Northwestern does here is Josie Alessino measures up. Alessino, junior from Northville, Michigan.
Expecting she's just going to drop it in around the penalty spot here.
Good looking ball, headed down nicely. Well done by Peyton McNamara. Just get it out of the middle.
It's a dangerous ball as well. We see the pace here.
Emma Sears tried to run onto it. The defense had it measured.
And it's one more time now. It's Austin again. 3 times in the opening 10 minutes here. She's got herself in the right position. She's cut out the threat. Great defending from her again. They'll be fully aware of Sears' pace, so really good from Austin to get across and deal with it.
Little too much pace, but a good idea. If you joined us a little bit late, we're almost a quarter hour in. I'm Brendan Gulick, along with Ian Richardson. You get a look there at Kayla Fisher, one of the great goal scorers in Ohio State women's soccer history. And boy, does Northwestern know that after Fisher helped lift Ohio State to a 2-1 win over Northwestern last year. Kayla, one of the better goal scorers in the conference this season. When Ohio State is playing well, typically Kayla Fisher is a big part of that. As they find the ball at Kayla's feet here for a moment.
Yeah, Ohio State so far really haven't got their passing game going yet, and you have to credit Northwestern for that. Started the game very well, had most of the ball at this point. Ohio State, as I say, 15 minutes in, they'll want to settle down, take the pace out of the game, and get their passing game going.
Nothing else, it's a breath of fresh air for Ohio State just to have the ball out of their back end for a moment. As Northwestern tries to figure out how to attack. Fisher applying some heat. Mia Rabin, graduate student and a transfer from Wake Forest, native of Denver, Colorado. It's the start again today. Northwestern has not been to the NCAA tournament, by the way, since 2018. I would certainly think they've got a pretty good chance to get an at-large bid should they not win the conference tournament. This has been a very good year for Michael Moynihan and his team.
Bit better from the Buckeyes here, stringing together a few passes, trying to link things up and play through the thirds.
Rabin has played the majority of minutes for Northwestern as a goalkeeper this year. She's played in all 17. But Riley Fitzpatrick started 11 times, and Fitzpatrick has also had a very good season. Maddie Lowe has gotten a little bit of time. Rabin finds herself in a critical game here at the end of the year. Unfortunately, we haven't seen Riley Fitzpatrick play since September 25th against Minnesota. Haas knocks it off of Sydney Jones. Northwestern content to take a deep breath here defensively. Good over-the-top pass. It's right on the money.
Just a heavy touch here.
With a good ball toward the middle. Otto steps in front.
She does well. I thought she touched too much there, Haas, when she was going to get on it, but she managed to catch it, keep it in play. Decent cross back across the face. Ohio State getting back in. Defensive shape pretty good, but certainly Northwestern have the better of the opening exchanges so far.
15th minute, no score. Austin presses forward. Wants to play toward the right corner. Del Carmen is centralized. Ohio State wouldn't let it cross off. Wildcats trying to solve the puzzle, figuring out where Ohio State might have a weak point. Offside.
And you spoke to me before the game, Brendan, when we were talking about expected formations, and not often you see teams playing with a box in the middle of the park, and that could very well be the case just now for the Buckeyes. All the coaching and talking pre-game and, hey, this is what to expect is one thing, but having to pass players on in real time and actually figure out the movement off the ball is another thing entirely. And so far, Buckeyes haven't been able to play their way out of their own third.
Can't imagine that you see a 3-6-1 too often. I mean, it's just not a typical tactical formation that Ohio State sees many times, as Pritchard had a pretty routine save on Gilbertson's left foot from good 25 yards out.
Yeah, good start from Pritchard. A couple of comfortable saves, but she'll be happy to be facing shots from 25 yards today as well. Gilbertson does well, decent strike on the left foot, but again, we see Ohio State trying to pay out. They're not managing to link it up. Northwestern winning the ball back and advancing third.
Bodie to her right. Pritchard punches over the top of the bar. Dangerous opportunity for Northwestern.
Yeah, worrying times here for the Buckeyes. They're trying to get their game going, trying to play out, but can't get out just now. Northwestern swarming all over them, winning the ball in their final third, getting chances on goal. Decent save there from Pritchard. One you'd expect her to make, but good start certainly from the Wildcats.
So a corner kick for Northwestern from the far side. First corner of the match for the Wildcats, who have outscored their opponents this year 35-12. Looking for the first tally of the game. One hangs up in the air, headed in. Oh, it's an absolute beautiful play.
You have to say it's been coming, deserved on the game so far. It's a good ball into the box. It's the back of the 6-yard box. Just here we see the replay. Pritchard comes off her line. She looks to get there. She doesn't get there. And it's Phillips at the back post with the header. It's 1-0 to the Wildcats and no more than they deserve.
Emma Phillips, beautifully positioned.
Yeah, Pritchard won't be happy with that one again. She's made a couple of good saves initially. First time she's had to deal with a cross coming into her box there. Just gets caught under the flight of the ball. Doesn't adjust her feet to get to it. She's committed to it. Phillips has just got to get her head to it. You'd expect the big centre back when she comes forward to be able to head her on target. She does everything right. 1-0.
Third goal of the year for the sophomore from Munster, Indiana, who scored in the opener. One more look at it.
Yeah, she finds herself in a couple of yards there at the back post. The ball finds her way to her. I have to say it's a great delivery towards the back post. Ohio State don't deal with her at all. In the end, it's a free header inside the 6-yard box. I'm sure Coach Walker Hawk and her staff won't be happy about that.
Emma Phillips basically never comes off the field. She has played all 90 minutes in almost every game this year. Once she missed about 3 minutes time, and that was actually in the last game she scored against DePaul way back on September 1st. And she played 2/3 of the game on August 25th against SIUE. Other than that, she has been out there for all 90 minutes all year and really makes a big play. It's just over Pritchard's outstretched arm. You know, there's something to be said, I think, for a freshman goalkeeper. And look, you know, Molly Pritchard has played every game this season, splitting most of the time with Kat Robinson, and she is the future for Ohio State goalkeeping for sure. So I don't want to play the youth card too many times.
Trouble here.
I think there is something to be said for, until you see lots of different looks in the speed, in the pace of the way this game is played, sometimes those things can be costly.
Yeah, and it's a strange one because she started the game well. You know, she had 3 comfortable saves, which she made. This is better from Ohio State. It's a brave decision trying to play out. Otto does well. But this is where they've got to link up again. The ball's simply not sticking. Comes off of Dukovic, and Northwestern back on the attack again.
Ohio State has only lost 2 conference games all year. Michigan State last time out, and they lost to Rutgers in their Big Ten opener on Sunday the 18th as Northwestern negates an Ohio State run.
It's a great bit of defending from Doucette because it's the first time we've seen it from Dukovic. She gets turned, she gets the head up, she's trying to find Seals. The ball's good. Oh, we've got no flag here. Northwestern trying to get in again.
Del Carmen. Actually, beg your pardon, that was Josie Alessino.
Yeah, just going back to the last one, Ohio State, it's the first time that Dukovic has come short. She's managed to turn. She played in Seals, but Doucette does ever so well to read the pass of the ball and cut it off at source.
Sydney Jones. Lori Walker-Hawk loves what Sydney Jones has done for her, stabilizing her right back position. She's played well already as Del Carmen with a good little turn.
It's a fantastic
lays
turn
it
in
off.
the ring.
It's beautiful. And a second goal for the Wildcats.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Meg Bodie, terrific. 2-0.
Such a great goal, and it's all about Del Carmen. Bodie will get the credit because she scores the goal, but what a turn for Del Carmen. She sucks her centre back in. She knows exactly what she's going to do. As soon as she gets turned and she's facing up goal, it's trouble for the Buckeyes. Lovely little weighted pass into Bodie. Bodie makes no mistake. First touch, controls it, sets herself, side netting. 2-0 Northwestern. Unbelievable start.
Ohio State's got to regroup quickly. This has not gone the way the Buckeyes had envisioned. And Northwestern, who unfortunately sleptwalked through their last 2 games when it comes to these kinds of attacks. And I watched the entire Michigan State-Northwestern game, and you just never saw at the beginning of the game this kind of buildup.
Yeah, Coach Moynihan and his staff clearly done their work here as we see a replay again. Not doing a disservice to Del Carmen there. Her turn just before was unbelievable. Plays in Bodie, good finish. Probably better than anything Coach Moynihan and his staff would have envisaged coming here today and getting the 2-goal early lead. But you'd have to say that their game plan has worked. They haven't changed their shape. They're playing their 3-6-1, and what it's allowing them to do is they're absolutely winning the battle in the middle of the park just now. They've got an extra player in there. They're not allowing Ohio State to get their passing game going or play out. Ohio State are struggling to get forward, and every time the Wildcats pick it up from a turnover, they look dangerous.
Ohio State hasn't taken a shot yet. Not one in the first 20 minutes. Northwestern's taken 6, 5 on target, and they put 2 of them home. 1 on a header from Emma Phillips off of a corner kick, and 1 on that terrific finish. Combination there between Del Carmen and Bodie.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. Again, you say about the box and the 3-6-1. Bodie's the attacking midfielder, but there's times where she plays and she looks as if she's another striker. She's linking up. As soon as Del Carmen turns, she knows exactly where she wants to go. She's holding her run, making sure she stays on side, gets the ball. Fantastic first touch just to set herself, and then lovely finish. And again, it's a long way back at this stage just now for the Buckeyes.
Bodie, by the way, with her 6th goal of the season. Meg hasn't scored since the Wisconsin game a couple of weeks ago.
It's a big opportunity.
Great opportunity for Fisher, who cuts to the right, takes the shot, and it's deflected away. Mia Rabin with a great diving effort.
Good save from Rabin. Really good save for Rabin. It's the first time we've really seen it from Ohio State where they've managed to link a couple of passes together. Ball gets into Fisher. She takes her touch. She knows what she's looking to do. Reasonable strike from her. Credit Rabin for getting a strong hand to it and turning it over the bar.
Ella Gianola going to try to give Ohio State a chance to cut this thing in half. Left-footed ball played in. It's a bit up toward the top. The deflection goes in front, and Ohio State had a great chance. What a defensive effort by the Wildcats.
It's one off the training ground. Gianola, she knows what she's doing from the corner kick. She's taking it to the edge of the box. I think it seals at the edge of the box. She doesn't quite get the contact correct, but it falls to Ohio State in the 6-yard box. Again, Rabin coming up with a big save.
Another look here as Ohio State gave themselves a great chance. Rabin got as big as she could. I think she just barely got a hand on it.
Does well. Chance now 2 there in the space of a minute inside the 6-yard box. Ohio State really needing to take one to get themselves back into the game.
Still got our starters out there, but only for a minute or 2 longer. Maddie Lowe waits to check in for Ohio State. Lowe had been starting last couple of games, and Ella Gianola has played so well that even though Ella has had a lot of minutes this year, and Maddie sort of forced her way back into the lineup, Lori Walker-Hawk decided today Ella was the better option as a starter. Maddie off the bench.
And it might just be a like-for-like change, but I'll be interested to see again in the middle of the park just now where Ohio State really aren't getting a hold of things if she's looking to change the shape of the team at this point.
Ohio State and Northwestern playing the final game of the regular season, already guaranteed entry to the Big Ten tournament. That's not part of the decision, but both are playing for a chance to host a Big Ten quarterfinal. Northwestern with a win would guarantee themselves the number 2 seed in the tournament behind Michigan State. Ohio State with a win would guarantee themselves no worse than a 3 seed and a home game, but a draw or a loss, and who knows where these teams will quite wrap up as the substitution goes straight up low for Gianola.
And you would imagine it's just going to be a like for like, so still 4-3-3 here from the Buckeyes, but Lowe looking to get on the ball and make things happen for a team. Again, though, ball getting thrown in, middle of the park, Northwestern pressing it well, turning it over, now finding himself in the attacking third.
Give you scores around the conference here at the next dead ball. Another good move for Northwestern, looking for Del Carmen. This one rolls away. Nebraska and Wisconsin tied at 1-1. They're in the 24th minute. No score between Rutgers and Michigan State. They're in the 20th minute. That's another really good game. It is 2-0 Minnesota over Illinois. They're in the 27th minute. Penn State and Iowa playing this afternoon. And it's 1-0 Penn State on the road in Iowa City as this one's chipped forward and knocked away by Sidney Jones. 1-1 Maryland and Purdue are level in the 25th minute. All games across the league started at the same time today. We do not have an update at the moment from Indiana and Michigan, but hopefully we'll get that for you shortly.
Yeah, the worrying thing just now in this one from Coach Walker Hawk is going to be the fact that every time Northwestern go forward, they look like they're going to create a scoring opportunity. Sears here bringing a ball forward, getting our team up the pitch and winning a corner. They've not done enough of that. We've not seen enough so far of the Buckeyes managing to play their way out through the thirds, getting into the final third and giving themselves an opportunity.
So the Buckeyes, more than halfway through the opening 45. They've won their second corner kick of the afternoon, and this time it'll be Kitty Jones-Black. Kitty with a low right-footed ball, played into traffic. The Buckeyes don't get a shot immediately out of it. Jones-Black again. Good defense. Northwestern does well.
Northwestern winning the first ball when it comes in the box. A really big header. I think it might have been Del Carmen back in there as well, getting her head on it, as we see another change here coming from Ohio State.
Ohio State makes a change to bring in Emily Votney, a captain and a graduate student who has not seen the field a lot recently. Glad to see her in there. She comes in for Emma Sears. Votney certainly one of the more well-respected players on this team. And they could really use more production from her. Has not played since the Illinois game. She's played 13 times this season, starting only a couple. Votney scoreless on the season in her career, though. Has put 4 in,
Good
trying to play through her. Votney rolls it toward the middle of the 6, and Rabin comes out to grab it.
Little bit better there from the Buckeyes, trying to link it. McNamara with a good flick over the top for Votney. But again, any time in the middle of the park here, we see that Ohio State try to play. As soon as they play the ball into their holding midfielder, Jones-Black's getting swarmed. She's up against 2 players in there, can't get on the ball. You'd have to say at this point, Northwestern have got it right tactically.
Well, it's off camera at the moment, but Emma Sears is being worked on by an athletic trainer, and they are paying attention to her left leg. I don't want to speculate. I hope she's okay. She seemed to run off the field all right, although it was a little bit slow. Obviously, you really hope that Emma is not dealing with anything serious as Votney goes in for her in the attack on the right. If Ohio State's going to win a Big Ten championship this year, they need a healthy and effective Emma Sears for sure.
Once again, it's the middle of the park. It was better from the Buckeyes, managing to string together a few passes, but they're turning it over again. Just being outnumbered, the 4v3 in the middle of the park here, causing them all sorts of problems. And when they turn the ball over, every time it happens, you think the Wildcats are going to get a shot off.
2-0 Northwestern. Goals from Emma Phillips and Meg Bodie. One off a corner kick, the only corner so far for Northwestern. Beautifully struck ball. And then the second goal came on a gorgeous run of play. Good spin over on the right side. Gilbertson trying to wiggle free, sends it across. Sydney Jones got the back of her head on it, and Votny comes over to help win it away. No bad intentions there as Haas extended a hand to say, hey, sorry about that. No bad news at the moment as Emma Sears has gone over and sat down on a cart. Looks like she's getting continued treatment. Hope she's all right. In the meantime, Votny has big shoes to fill, and she is capable. Northwestern playing on the left-hand side. They want to go through Haas as much as they can. Dudukovic, long ball ahead. It was weighted well, but Fisher couldn't quite catch up to it before Danica Austin got there.
Been really impressed with Austin at the start of this game. Her positional sense, just reading the game, read the danger, saw where the ball was going to go, got herself in and dealt with it before anything came of it.
Jones Black to the middle.
Once again, though, you see the box here from Northwestern. They just swarm the ball, they win the ball, and then when they turn it over, they're in again here. It's a good run from Del Carmen.
Yeah, it sure is. She timed it well. Pritchard comes out to knock this one clear out of play. Also looked like Emma Sears, while it was her left leg that was being worked on by the athletic trainer on the bench. Now she took off her right shoe, and she was getting some tape on her right ankle. So hard to know for sure exactly what she's dealing with, but I hope it's not too serious. Laid off to the left-hand side, another ball for Haas.
Flag's gone up again there. Just gone a little bit early, Haas, but she's getting a lot of joy on this side. Jones, a very good defender. She's had her hands full this first half. Haas keeps getting on the ball, and Northwestern are finding ways to just link the ball from the back line through their midfield, finding their forwards, and it's the difference so far in this game.
McNamara trying to push her way forward through Katerina Regazzoni. Love the physicality the Swiss fifth-year midfielder plays with. She is tough. So you're going to look there at Josie Alessino. Leads the Big Ten in assists on the season. Alessino's played well so far today. Well, now they are taping up Emma Sears' left knee. Too much heat on that one. Well, with Sears on her feet and getting that tape, hopefully that would give an indication that she'll be able to come back in the game. It seems positive. Fingers crossed. Don't want to see anybody on either team dealing with an injury.
Looks like we've got another change here from Ohio State. Flotra coming in as a holding midfielder as a straight swap for Jones Black.
32nd minute. Ohio State makes its third change. Flotra, Votny, and Lowe have all subbed on.
And it's Flotra that's going to be tasked now with trying to get on the ball and receive it from her back line and link things up. So far, it wasn't happening for Jones Black. Again, no reflection on her. She was simply outnumbered in there. Again, ball getting turned over in the middle of the park. Northwestern simply the 4v3 too much in their favour.
Rowan Lapi helps this one to Northwestern. We got two Wildcat changes now. Brooke Miller, the freshman defender from Naperville, Illinois, greater Chicago area. She is into the ball game, and she will replace Lily Gilbertson. And the other change is for Haas, Ingrid Falls, junior from Lake Forest, Illinois.
And it just looks like it's like for like here, so no change to the shape, nor would you need to make one. The game plan's working, so why change it? Certainly it looks like Falls is just going to come in here and play on this left-hand side.
So Falls and Miller both checking on. Ohio State's had to do a whole lot more defending in this first half than they probably would have liked. They've been outshot 6-2. Both of their shots have been dangerous. Northwestern right now has been the better side as this one's played with too much pace on it, and the wind blows it out of bounds. Northwestern's goals came in the 17th minute off a corner kick, and then just 3 minutes later, they lead 2-0.
Here's Flotra now trying to get on the ball, but again you can see the press from Northwestern just not allowing Ohio State to play out, winning second balls. This is where Ohio State now, when they pick it up, they've got to be able to find the Dukovic and play off of her.
McNamara sends it wayward.
It's a good turn from McNamara. It's the right idea. She's trying to find Fisher, just doesn't quite get the pass right, but that's where they need to get on the ball. Get McNamara turning, get Dukovic holding it up and linking up with our midfielders.
It's Lonnie Barnett playing with Pritchard.
So you can see it on screen now. They always look to play into their holding midfield, but as soon as Flotra gets it, somebody's right behind her, not allowing her time and space, although she's found a great ball there.
Botany ran hard after it. Falls, taps forward, and turns it over. Both sides making changes. Paige Miller, senior from Wheaton, Illinois, on for Northwestern.
That'll keep things nice and interesting for us, Brendan. We've got a couple of Millers now on the field for them.
Yeah, that's right. Paige Miller and Brooke Miller both. No relation between the two. Ohio State with Kristen Bombeck on, replacing Kaylin Dukovic.
This is the best build-up we've seen so far from Ohio State. Fisher's run, she doesn't quite get there. She's given away the foul, but it's the first time Ohio State have managed to string together 6 or 7 passes, and then they've looked to play Fisher in behind. Best sequence of the game from them. Okay, nothing comes from it in the end, but that's what Coach Walker Hawk's going to be looking for our players to do. More of that.
Looks like McNamara has pressed forward into the center forward spot, and Bombeck will play more as an attacking midfielder. Fisher stays out on the left for Ohio State. Votny still attacking on the right as Barnett forces this one out of play. Paige Miller over on the right-hand side of the offense for Northwestern there. Miller went in straight up for Maria Del Carmen. Perhaps she'll get a little bit more centralized. Anyways, there's fewer than 10 minutes to go. This is dangerous. Ohio State with Paige Miller really threatening there.
And again, it's another mistake. It feels self-inflicted just now, but it is the mantra of how they want to play the Buckeyes. They do try and play out the back, but today, getting pressed repeatedly, not being allowed time and space on the ball, and you'd have to say Northwestern, the game plan so far so good.
Good play by Bombeck to win that. Oh boy. I'll tell you what, Northwestern right now is giving Ohio State perhaps a little more than it can handle. Buckeyes are lucky not to be down 3-0. Danger not quite removed.
It almost feels self-inflicted just now. This is where you sort of need one of your leaders on the field to turn around and say, listen, it's not happening for us so far. We're 2-0 down. We're trying to play out. We're not playing out. We're getting ourselves into trouble. For a couple of minutes here, maybe we just go a little bit longer. We try and get the pace of Fisher, try and get her in behind once or twice, try and stretch Northwestern's back line and maybe create a bit more room in the middle of the park to then try and play out again.
A chance through Miller, but the flag went up.
They're finding the joy, though. Every time they pick the ball up here, the little through balls, the little passes. Miller goes a bit early on a run and is offside. But again, dangerous moments.
Just a little over 7 minutes remaining in the first half.
Another turnover again.
To Lonnie Barnett. That's the first time in a little while that I've seen Ohio State play a ball so direct and so far forward that they weren't trying to connect, if nothing else, just to get bodies forward.
And that's the thing, the direct ball, it's not the way that they want to play, but they do have the pace. Okay, Sears isn't on the field. Fisher gives them that. She can run in behind on occasion, but just for a 5-minute period, while they're struggling here to play out, just try and stretch the field, try and get McNamara running in behind or Fisher running in behind, make this Northwestern back line drop off a little bit, make the midfield have to drop off 5 yards, so when you start to play out the back, you've actually got places to play.
Little chip pass toward Peyton McNamara, denied an entry. Lowe with a poorly struck ball turns into a Northwestern free run. Good job by Talani Barnett to get in the way.
Yeah, and it was a massive challenge from her. She needed to make it as well. It was trouble. It was a 2v2 again. This is a little bit better again, just give and go, trying to move the ball, trying to create the space, but it just keeps breaking down. Jones picking it up, has to find somebody, but every time she comes inside, there's 3 or 4 bodies around her. Great play.
Here. Bombic cuts back to her right, takes a shot, and it's tipped over the top of the bar. Beautiful build-up, nice execution.
Excellent.
The Buckeyes win a corner.
Excellent from Bombic. Her and Jones combine. Then she drops the shoulder onto her right foot. It's a good strike. You'd have to say Rabin, she's not had a lot to do this half, but on the 3 occasions she's been asked to make a save, she's been comfortable, touches it over the bar. But the Buckeyes now with a chance before halftime. Try and get something back.
Ohio State making a change. Kayla Fisher coming off. And the Buckeyes are bringing on Coley Sidlowski, young lady from Strongsville, trying to give Fisher a breather. Sidlowski, a really talented young freshman. This one's played out. Was accidentally touched.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to give a handball there. I think that's on the harsh side, I have to say. There's not a great deal that Falls could do. The ball got rattled against her from 2 yards away.
By the way, 10th appearance of the year for Sidlowski. All right, so Sydney Jones will take the free kick. Clock is winding, under 5 minutes left in the first half. Jones plays it right toward the middle of the box. It was a threatening area, but the header redirected.
Yeah, it's a decent delivery. It's a good area. The Northwestern back line started off particularly deep, but that's okay if you're going to go up and win the first ball, and they managed to clear the lines.
Talani Barnett has moved out of the center back spot, and she's playing more in an attacking role over on the right-hand side. Ohio State has actually dropped. That's Gasic, or excuse me, Miran Gasic, that was
it might just
moving
be
from the outside to the inside. Now they retain their shape. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a change or just something off the corner.
From the set piece, yeah, from the set piece, just as they work their way back into shape.
Okay. Well, Barnett is so good no matter where she is on the field. You want her at center back because she's anchored so well there, but gosh, putting her up more in an attacking spot doesn't seem like a silly idea at times.
Not at all. They're struggling in the middle of the park today. They're really not connecting, and like you say, there might be a case where it is somebody like Barnett or Jones goes into the middle of the park. They try and look at something different.
Perhaps something building here.
Again, Flotra, she gets on the ball. She's good when she gets on the ball, but she's not getting time and space to play. McNamara trying to link up. This is a little bit better.
I like the idea, but just unable to be handled by Sidlowski.
And that sort of sums up the first half for Ohio State. On the few occasions that they have managed, to string together 2 or 3 passes, then it's just been a poor pass or a misplaced pass or a bad touch. And they've not managed to connect 5-6 passes often enough. On the other hand, Northwestern have managed the game so well. Off to a dream start with the early goal. Backed it up with a fantastic second goal. And now the onus is on Ohio State. They have to do something different as they make another mistake turning the ball over.
Paige Miller looking for space. Barnett comes over and dispossesses her. Bombic feeling a little heat from Josie Elisino. Sydney Jones. Bombic with her eyes forward, intercepted. It's a good read.
It doesn't come off for Bombic, but at least she's been positive since she's come into the game. She's trying to get on the ball and get turning and play forward. Okay, the pass doesn't come off, but she's at least trying to influence the game in the middle of the park.
I don't think Nicole Doucette's got enough credit for the way she's played today. Haven't really said her name a lot, but she's been really well positioned.
Big challenge from Barnett.
Final 2 minutes of the opening half. Ohio State trailing 2-0 on two very good goals from Northwestern. Emma Phillips. And then Meg Bodie just a couple minutes later. Perhaps something here. Alessino gets a little space left. Barnett altered the shot enough.
Yeah, she just does enough there. At one point, it looked like Alessino was going to be away and get her strike off on goal. Referee's given a goal kick. Clearly not the case. You can always tell from the reaction of the players. The fact that Ohio State defence dropped back in and were getting in shape for the corner kick tells you that the referee's got that one wrong. But it was good defending, to your point. Barnett, she does well enough to get herself in there and get a challenge on Alessino.
Final minute. Maddie Lowe.
Again, they're trying to play through the lines. At Flotra, she's got time and space on the ball. She's got to find her forwards' feet there. It's too easy for them to turn the ball over.
Doucette. Alessino.
They look like a team that's winning 2-0 just now. They're full of confidence here as they knock the ball about, the Wildcats.
I totally agree. They're playing with a presence, a commanding nature right now that is kind of hard to stop. Northwestern, the dominant team here in the first half. Ohio State's had a couple chances, and frankly, the Buckeyes played better defense as the half progressed. But two goals that Ohio State certainly wishes it had back. The difference right now, Northwestern has played very well on the road, and coming in with a two-game losing.
He was every time Ohio State tried to play into midfield, they simply couldn't connect. They were getting pressed, the ball was getting turned over, and Northwestern looked dangerous every time they did it.
One of Ohio State's best players, Emma Sears, I do not see at the moment. She is certainly not out on the field, and I'm looking for her on the sideline. I'll try to keep an eye on, trying to figure out where she might be. As we get back underway, Ohio State in their predominantly gray uniforms, Northwestern in the white kits here on the road. Join us a little bit late. I'm Brendan Gulick along with Ian Richardson. Northwestern, the number 2 ranked team in the conference. They are not going to win the Big Ten championship in the regular season. They already had a chance to do that a couple of weeks ago. I guess it was a couple games ago. It was last weekend against Michigan State. They ultimately lost that game 2-1. Trying to add to it here, and right away Del Carmen got pulled off of it. But with a win, Northwestern would, for sure, lock up the number 2 seed in the tournament. And they would have a home game on October 30th, 1 week from today. The semifinals and the Big Ten championship are actually in Columbus, but not on Ohio State's campus. They're at the beautiful, brand-new Lower.com field, home of the Columbus Crew in downtown.
Just to your point, Brendan, you were asking me at halftime, what are Ohio State going to do here to change things? Looks like they've gone to a 4-4-2 diamond in the middle of the park. So up top, it's going to be Fisher and Dudukovic there playing as a 2. And it looks like Vatney's just going to play at the tip of the diamond. So she's going to be the one tasked with trying to link things up. But certainly they've recognised they were losing it in the middle of the park. They've went to a 4 in there now, so it's like for like. They've got a diamond in there, so holding at the base, I'll see, I believe it's Jones Black that's back in there, and certainly at the tip for them, it's going to be Vatney now.
It is, and it's Ella Gianola on the near side and Kristen Bombic on the far side of the diamond. See if that is a more effective way for Ohio State to attack as Dudukovic tries to come onto it.
It certainly can't. It certainly can't hurt them. First half they were just getting outnumbered in there time after time. They couldn't play. They were losing the middle of the park. So changing what it does now is it causes a 4v4 in there, and I'll ask the Wildcats a couple of questions. Just how are you going to pick up? Which of your box is going to be dealing with which player from Ohio State?
A chance for the Buckeyes here. Looking forward to Dukovic. Rowan Loppe stepped in front of it. Opening moments of the second half. We'll give you an update next dead ball from around the Big Ten. Another one looking for Kalen. All right, Wisconsin leads Nebraska 2-1 at halftime. Rutgers and Michigan State scoreless at the intermission. Good ball played toward Fisher, and it's headed a little too far forward. Good effort from Gianola, but she ran out of room. Rutgers and Michigan State are scoreless at the break. It's Minnesota 2, Illinois nothing. It's been kind of a one-sided game so far. Early in the second half, Minnesota outshooting Illinois 9-1. Penn State leading on the road at Iowa 1-0. Not a lot of shots in that game. Maryland on the road with a 2-1 lead at halftime over Purdue. Maryland's only taken 3 shots, but they've scored twice. Good takeaway from the Buckeyes, trying to find Fisher instead of pulling the trigger herself.
Oh, lovely from Vatney.
Buckeyes certainly with a better plan of attack so far early second half. Fisher beats a player, rolls it toward Dukovic. With her back to the goal, couldn't get a shot off.
Yeah, it's good defending in the end, but much better. Promising signs here now at the start of the second half for the Buckeyes. Certainly the change of shape looks to have worked in their favour here in the opening minutes. Getting into the final third, a lot more of them in advanced position than we've probably seen in the entirety of the first half.
Talani Barnett steps forward. Gianola takes this one away, and a foul on Ohio State.
Yeah, foul's just going to be given there against Barnett. She made sure that Del Carmen couldn't get back up to her feet fast, but much more promising first 5 minutes of the second half for the Buckeyes.
Just pulled up the live stream on Big Ten Plus of Indiana and Michigan because the live stat link doesn't seem to be functioning, and unfortunately there is no box score along with the live stream, so they're playing. That's the best update I can give you in Ann Arbor. I have no idea.
Something's happening, yeah.
I have no idea when and where and what the status of that game is, but if you want, you can check it out on Big Ten Plus. In the meantime, here come the Wildcats playing the right side through Del Carmen. Barnett gets in the way quickly.
An important to win.
So a corner kick for the Wildcats. Michigan and Indiana. Indiana not going to make the tournament, and Michigan unfortunately just on the outside looking in. So it is the last game of the season for both of those two teams. There's Lori Walker-Hawk sitting on the bench as that corner kick came on. Barnett knocks it out of bounds. Michigan State, the Big Ten champions here in 2022 for the first time in program history. And they're locked in a good game with Rutgers, who is plenty capable of winning the Big Ten tournament, despite the fact that Rutgers is not the champ during the regular season. There have been some great teams at the top of the league this year. Michigan State, Northwestern, Rutgers, Ohio State, Penn State, Wisconsin, and frankly, even Nebraska has played pretty well this season. All of those teams will compete for the Big Ten tournament title and the automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. Good cross off the left foot. Pritchard ready for it.
Yeah, decent play. Northwestern here settling into the second half now. Decent delivery. Pritchard does well. Comfortable save from her. Comes out and takes it. But this is where we're going to see if the diamond takes shape and effects. Now is Ohio State attempt to play out. They're 4v4 in the middle of the park. Can they manage to connect? Can they find Vatney in dangerous areas?
Ohio State looking pretty good here in this first half, but now Northwestern it's almost looking a little more like
By the way, the selection show for the NCAA tournament for women's soccer is at 3:30 Eastern time on Monday, November 7th. So mark your calendars for that. Both of these two teams are hoping that they'll have a stress-free Monday because they are hoping they'll have the automatic berth into the tournament with a championship to boot. But in case they're waiting for an at-large bid, that's when you'll want to check your calendar. Monday, November 7th at 3:30 Eastern Time. That'll be on NCAA.com.
Expect to see this second half. You can see the referee already sort of saying, it might be off camera there, come on, hurry up, take the free kick. For Northwestern, you're on the road, you've got a 2-0 lead. They're going to manage the clock now, every chance they get, every set piece, every free kick. It's going to be 30 seconds to take it.
Art Arustamayan is the referee. I had not mentioned his name quite yet. Leading a crew that I think's done a pretty good job today.
Well, you just summed it up perfectly. You've not had to mention his name yet, so that's normally a good sign.
Kitty Jones-Black with her eyes ahead. Vatney knocked to the ground, but on her own accord.
She's looking for a foul. I'm not so sure that it was. The referee's eventually given her it. I'm not entirely sure that was a free kick, probably on the softer side there.
Michael Moynihan doesn't seem to agree. Ohio State has certainly shown at points this season that they can be a pretty quick striking offense. On 2 hops, Rabin picks it up. So, I mean, look, there's certainly no reason to panic quite yet, but you'd feel a lot better if you could cut this lead in half if you're a Buckeye sooner than later.
Oh, certainly, but at least they're asking a different question this half. First half they played with a front 3. They were very, very wide. Didn't find Sears a great deal on the ball. Didn't get Fisher on the ball anywhere near enough, just as we see another chance here from Alessino.
Good ball played across, out of Pritchard's reach.
But at least they're asking a different question now. So this half, they've got 2 up there. It's a narrow front 2. So when the ball does go up to Dudukovic or it goes up to Fisher, maybe they win first or second ball. Maybe Vatney gets on the ball. They're at least posing a different problem, and it had to be done at halftime.
Bodie with a great turn. Chips that one toward the right side, off target.
I say all that. The change doesn't do anything if Bodie tiptoes by everybody and managed to strike a 3rd goal in for Northwestern here. So have to make sure that they take care of things defensively as well. Can't afford to concede another one. And as you rightly point out, there's a long way to go in this game yet. Plenty of time to get back into it.
If you've just tuned in, it is as warm as you would think based on the picture as Pritchard comes out to pick this one up. Temperature on October 23rd is 75 degrees in Columbus. There's a slight breeze. I mean, it is as comfortable as you could realistically hope for this time of year. I would imagine that for the Big Ten tournament in a couple weeks, we'll be dealing with cooler temperatures. But a perfect day to end the 2022 regular season. Pritchard's ball hit a little wide of Barnett, so Gasick comes over to it. Kayla Fisher wins it away.
And this is where it's dangerous. Now they've got 3 up in and around the ball. Fisher turning and running once again. Great defending from Austin.
A long way with it, and she wins the foul right in the middle of the park. Frustrating for Austin.
Probably the right decision from the referee, but what I like about Austin there is she got turned by Fisher. She looked like she was beaten, and she kept working her way back. I just see here if the referee's stopping the clock, if he's going to go to his pocket or not, but it was certainly Austin didn't give up on the ball. She got herself back in. She's given a foul away in a dangerous area. Far more dangerous for her not to get the challenge in.
Well, this kind of feels like an opportunity Ohio State has got to have.
It's a huge moment and a half. Certainly, you're looking at this point, just work the keeper, hit the target. If nothing else, put it on frame. As long as you get it up and over the wall and you make the keeper make a save, that's all you can ask for.
Sydney Jones and Emily Vatney are both over it. Kitty Jones-Black is wide right. It's going to be Sydney Jones over the top of the bar.
And that's the point there. When you're in such a good area, it's understandable. She's trying to go up and over the wall and just get it to come back down. But you've got to ask the question, make the keeper make a save. If you hit the target and it's a comfortable save for a keeper, fine. But don't bail them out by hitting her over the bar.
Perhaps the fact that the wind is really picked up and is blowing at Ohio State's back here, maybe that helped keep the ball a little too long in the air and made that a anticlimactic situation. Kenny Jones-Black has played pretty well today. There's Barnett. Northwestern takes it away.
But even now, when Northwestern win the ball, instead of being able to string together passes and play through, you find Ohio State are getting bodies around the ball and making it difficult for them.
It's funny. I mean, it almost feels like a tale of two halves, right? Northwestern played certainly the opening 15 minutes of the first half, much like what we've seen from the Buckeyes so far. They have dominated possession, kept it deep in the other end, with a couple of other sprinkled opportunities in on the other side.
Yeah, there's no doubt the halftime change has certainly worked for the Buckeyes to this point. Not really created a great chance on goal yet, but certainly it's allowing them to get a bit more of the ball.
Northwestern trying to keep it alive. It's just over Del Carmen's head. Gasick trying to clear it away.
Yeah, Gasick just about gets away with it there. She swings the right foot at it, doesn't quite get it correct, but manages to get to it just in time. Warning signs though.
Loppe shoots it into the middle of the box there. Pritchard ready for it. And now Bombeck.
And now Bombeck's got space to play. She lifts her head. You see she's got Vatney with her. She's got help with her. She's playing into her striker, and all of a sudden it looks like Ohio State can actually link something together.
Dukovic looking for Fisher, but hit it too heavy. Jones steps in front. A little miscommunication there. Bombeck tries to win it back from Bodie. Otto. Jones-Black seems like she feels pretty comfortable with the pressure that's been put on her. Well, the onus is on Ohio State to try to make something happen. Northwestern, even if they don't play perfectly in the second half, 2 goals they've put home have given them the cushion.
Yeah, it's good play from Gilbertson. It's a wonderful step, and she's released Del Carmen in again.
Arreo was pushed off the ball by Talani Barnett. Good physical play from Barnett.
That's just good play all round there. Initially, it's a great step from Gilbertson. She's strong on the ball. We see again Ohio State turning the ball over.
Another opportunity mounting. Gilbertson from a long way out. Over the top.
Gilbertson's had a good half, first half. She got a break towards the end of the first half. She started the second half well. She wins the ball. She's strong, physical, but then she's got the ability and recognises the run of Del Carmen, releases her early. Great defending from Barnett to get across and deal with the danger.
Referee stopped the clock for just a second as Michael Moynihan looks on. He's had a pretty good run with the Wildcats. 11th year leading the program, but he has been a college head coach for a long time. 26th year leading a college program. He and Lori Walker-Hawk have the exact same number of career coaching victories, 294. He was the coach at Milwaukee for a long time and won 13 regular season titles and 8 tournament championships in the Horizon League. We're getting his opportunity in Evanston. He has only once taken a team to the Sweet 16 round of the NCAA tournament. He's had 13 total NCAA tournament appearances.
I bet he said this a few times in his career as well, where he said a referee coming over and having a little word in his ear.
Yeah, well, you know, looks friendly enough.
Yeah, listen, he's obviously not happy about one of the decisions there. I didn't see a great deal in it, to be honest, but it's going to happen in the heat of the moment. He's trying to back up his team, and certainly at the start of this half, he's been asked a few more questions than they were in the first half.
Ohio State is waiting to check on redshirt sophomore Nina LaFleur. She's standing near the midfield stripe. LaFleur has appeared 11 times this year, but not many times since the end of September.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see where she comes on. I'd imagine she might come on in sort of Vatney's position at the tip of the diamond here, but interesting to see where she comes on.
Buckeyes building on the right side now. Vatney back wide right to Jones. Emily rolls it centrally. A couple of quick passes looking for Dukovic.
Vatney's grown into the game, influencing it a lot more here. She's getting on the ball. You can see why she's a captain on the team. She, maybe not the quickest player, but certainly the intelligence is there, and she's picking up good spaces to get on the ball.
Substitutions coming on both sides. LaFleur is actually on for Miran Gasic at left back.
Okay, all right. So it's a bit of an attacking change. Gasic's right-footed. Can't quite offer you any natural width, but certainly LaFleur coming forward here on this left-hand side. A little bit more of an attacking change.
Maria del Carmen comes out. Paige Miller back on. No foul there. Not one here either. At least I thought not. Yeah, okay, just a throw in.
It looks like we might be seeing McNamara as well coming back into the game.
Just got word that she is going to come in for Bombic, and Northwestern preparing to make a change as well. It'll be Brooke Miller for Ella Haas. We'll see those momentarily. LaFleur. Little give and go. Trying to keep it alive. LaFleur and Dudukovic got smushed together.
It's a noticeable thing and it's a small thing, but they don't have a naturally left-sided defender here, Ohio State, as the changes come on. So every time they do attack down this left-hand side, the left back needs to tuck back in onto her right foot, whether that's Gasic or now in the case of LaFleur, need to tuck back inside. It would be nice to have that natural balance where you can get somebody who can go on the left foot and attack the byline.
I think they miss Izzy Rodriguez. She was so good in this program for a long time. Izzy Rodriguez, an All-American, has since moved on. Fewer than 28 minutes remaining in regulation to close out the regular season. 17th match for the Buckeyes, who've had a really good year. 10-3-3, their overall mark. Ohio State, arguably with their biggest win of the season against Penn State back on October 2nd. Now they've had more sizable wins, but that was as impactful a victory as you'll find as the flag goes up. Ohio State last weekend outscored Maryland and Illinois 13-1. They've had some good wins on their schedule for sure. Frankly, the scoreless draw with Texas A&M was a pretty good game. Buckeyes are hoping to lock down a top 4 seed in the tournament. Vatney working with Gianola. Ella got stuffed. Good work by Austin.
Austin's had a really good game, really has. Every time there's been a 50-50 or a bit of danger, she's been across and she's dealt with it. It's the first time we've seen Gianola getting herself in an advanced sort of left side position. She is one of the few players with a natural left foot there who could have delivered the ball and some quality into the box, but certainly Austin wasn't having it.
Northwestern, number 13 in the country. Ohio State, number 17. Wildcats at 12-3-2 on the season, 6-2-1 in conference play. After a 6-0-1 start, they dropped their last two to Michigan State and Iowa. But that snapped a stretch of 13 straight results. The only other blemish was a second game of the year, 1-0 loss at Kansas. After they opened the season beating Kansas State 2-1. And good out-of-conference results, beating Xavier 2-0. They beat Stanford, who at the time was ranked 6th in the country, beat them 1-0 in Evanston. Had a couple of good Big Ten moments as well. 1-1 draw against Rutgers, 4-0 win against Illinois. They beat Wisconsin 2-1.
Yeah, they've got the hallmarks of a good team. You know, they look defensively very sound. The back three look like they know what they're doing. Technically, in the middle of the park, they're knocking it about nicely as we see Austin once again bringing it forward here on this right-hand side.
Gilbertson in the corner. Kitty Jones-Black puts it way up into the sky. Barnett clears out the danger.
And up top, they've certainly got goals in the team. I think I've seen 4 or 5 players that have got 5 or 6 goals on the season, and we've already witnessed a bit of quality ourselves. So Alessino and Del Carmen and how dangerous they can be.
Northwestern is outscoring opponents 37-12 this year as Ohio State makes a change. That is Keena Flotra on for Kitty Jones-Black. Fletcher usually has some sort of headband or wrap on her head, but not today. At least as far as I can remember, she does.
Just keeping you on your toes today.
I guess. It is exceptionally difficult to see some of the numbers with the anthracite uniforms. They look sweet. Hard to tell sometimes from this distance. Gilbertson. Good work by LaFleur. A little help from Ella Gianola. Not quite done yet. Josie Alessino. Little give and go. She gets it back. Good job by McNamara. Paige Miller into the middle.
Been really impressed with Alessino today. She gets on the ball again.
Another chance. That one deflected. McNamara got in the way on what could have been another goal from Bodie.
Just gets herself in little pockets between defenders, and you can see the intelligence linking up. Little 1-2, getting herself in on goal. Dangerous player.
Throw in coming. Another change for the Wildcats. Ingrid Falls back on. I believe she's in for Gilbertson. That was the substitution we saw in the first half as well.
Yeah, both wing backs are getting asked to do a heck of a lot of running here, and certainly in the mid-70-degree weather, so it makes sense that Coach Moynihan's quite happy to utilise his bench there and make a couple of changes.
Great news here. Emma Sears back in the game for Ella Gianola. First time we've seen Sears since she subbed off in about the 28th minute. So Sears is back in and will play up at the front. She and Dudukovic are the forwards. Kayla Fisher is pressed back into the midfield. Good move from Alessino. Taps it toward Miller. Cuts to her left. Doucette. Emma Phillips, the center back who scored the first goal of the game, heading in a corner kick. Another chance for Bodie. Cuts left, avoids not one but two defenders, and then finally lost it.
It was a big challenge, and it needed to be there as well. Bodie, we've already seen her. She's tiptoed through a couple of times. Almost looked like she was going to shift it onto her left foot and get the strike off there. Important challenge here with 20 minutes to go in the game. Buckeyes can't afford to concede a third.
Ohio State hasn't had very many offensive opportunities that have resulted in shots here in the second half. They've only taken one, and it was on that direct kick from the top of the 18. That was over the top of the bar. That's it. No shots during the run of play. Boy, look at the physicality here between LaFleur and Brooke Miller.
Yeah, nothing in that. Referee's right there to say, get up, get on with it. Sears picking up the ball here.
Throw in for Emma Sears.
Coach Moynihan not happy. Clearly he thought there was more in that in the penalty box. I certainly didn't see anything wrong with it.
Emma looks pretty well. Lays this one off behind her. Nobody was there to follow it up. Glad to see Emma running well in her first sprinting opportunity after it looked like her left knee was bugging her in the first half. We'll monitor that. LaFleur, Flotra, and Barnett here.
And you're going to find this now with 20 minutes to go. Buckeyes need to take more chances, so they're going to leave space. They're going to commit more bodies forward. Could get picked off again on the counter.
It's Maddie Lowe who's playing right center back. Brooke Otto is not at that spot at the moment. Maybe a chance here. A long distance shot and another one hit over the bar.
Again, it's a great area to find themselves in. You've got to work the keeper. Love the build-up play. Good turn. I think it's Flotra finds herself in a great area. Once she's there, just make the keeper make a save, hit the target, gets underneath it, goes over the bar.
Ohio State's played well against the Wildcats in the last few years, including a 2-1 win last year to wrap up the regular season in Evanston. Fisher and Sydney Jones scored in that game. Buckeyes actually had to play the final 17 minutes, a player short. Fisher was sent off with a red card. And Northwestern did score in the 89th minute. Ohio State hung on to win that game 2-1. 20 minutes to go in regulation time. Of course, there's no overtime and no stoppage time in college soccer anymore. So at the end of 90 minutes, you get what you get.
Sears using her strength there. There's not a foul in that one. Official, not so sure about that decision. Just Sears being strong. Austin, she knew what she was doing. She's certainly looking for the foul, but for me, it was a 50-50 there. Not a great deal in it.
Pritchard. And a throw in.
You have to credit this Wildcat team here second half, because first 5-10 minutes of the half, Buckeyes threw something different at them, changed of shape, went to the diamond in midfield, looked like they were getting a little bit more joy, but as the half has progressively wore on, you'd have to say Northwestern have sort of steadied things and had as much of the ball in the past 10 minutes.
LaFleur. Loppy lobs it forward. Maddie Lowe has pretty much done it all for the Buckeyes during her career. Northwestern content not to force the issue if it doesn't have to. Jones to Dukovic. Vatny creeping in.
It's not really happened for Dukovic today. We're back to goal. She's not been able to hold it up or link up the play once or twice. Just been a little bit slow, like half a step slow, and trying to combine on her passes. Still plenty of time left for her to get something in the game, but certainly a frustrating afternoon for her.
Sensing any frustration from Ohio State quite yet?
No, not just now yet. There's still sufficient time here. 17 minutes still left on the clock. They are at least getting more of the ball as we find them in a good area again with Fisher.
Sears is there, and Austin tried to sell. Wow.
She's looking for it and she's got it, but you know what, credit Austin, she's playing the villain just now to this here crowd, but she's got herself in a great position again defensively. Just when it looked like Fisher and Sears might cause a problem, she gets across, she reads the danger, wins her team a free kick, albeit on this offside.
So a free kick. That certainly did not sit well with the Buckeyes. Throw in coming.
Got a couple of changes here for both teams as well. I think it's Dukovic coming off now.
I think there were 4 total changes. I'll give those to you here in just a moment. They happen that fast, sometimes it's hard to track them. Dukovic is off. Good chance for Fisher, who tried to turn the corner and had her shot blocked.
Yeah, Phillips does ever so well. It's good play from the Buckeyes. They managed to string together 3-4 passes. They work it into a good area for Fisher. Phillips tracks her the whole way and gets a block on it.
Officially 3 subs. Dukovic is off. Kristen Bombeck back in there. Northwestern brings Araya Del Carmen and Francesca Doctors in for Paige Miller and Josie Alessino.
And with the Dukovic coming off, it's Fisher going back up top alongside Sears here for the last 15 minutes.
Almost a quarter hour remaining. At some point, Ohio State's going to have to start taking a few more chances here. It was
a little bit on the naughty side there,
yeah. Pretty physical for no reason.
Yeah, Sears made sure she left one on her there. The referee, he's on it, he gave a free kick, but Phillips certainly taking her time getting back to her feet there. I'm not sure if there was a little hand in that or something, but certainly Phillips and her teammates don't look happy with the challenge.
They're waving on the athletic training staff with 15:27. I think we're going to see a caution. Yep, sure are. It's on Emma Sears. Perhaps a bit of pent-up frustration there.
That's it entirely. You were saying, have we seen any panic yet? Not so much panic, but certainly some frustration. It's not been her day. It's not happening for Ohio State just now, and she's just made sure she's let Phillips know she's there.
All right, so Sears gets the first yellow of the game.
And it looks like Phillips is having to come off here. I dare say it'll be the concussion protocol check as well. So came into the game there on the back line, just looking to see what the change was. It looks like Miller's come back in on the back line. And possibly Austin, who's went into the centre back central position now.
So Haas for Phillips. Loppy will take the free kick.
Yeah, that's what I've done with Phillips off the field. She's just Austin. She's been excellent for me today defensively. Got her positioning right. Won all her 50-50 battles, and she's gone into the heart of the back three now.
LaFleur quickly throws it into Bombeck. Boy, Coach Moynihan was infuriated by something there. The paper in his hand that he promptly chucked onto the ground. And we get another stoppage.
Yeah, you're going to get that now with 15 minutes to go. Again, it's been a frustrating afternoon for the Buckeyes. Northwestern have come in here, largely controlled the game, certainly first half. You're going to get a couple of bits off the ball. Referee just having a word here with both players, trying to nip it in the bud before it becomes a thing.
All right, so cooler heads prevail. Kayla Fisher clapping her hands. I don't want to speculate, but I get the impression that Ohio State is got to figure it out a little bit here because they have made some sloppy mistakes.
Yeah, discipline's starting to go a little bit just now. We've seen Sears going in the book for a bit of a late hit on Phillips. Vatney getting involved in an incident with Austin, and now an unnecessary challenge there. Maddie Lowe coming through the back of her opponent. Doesn't need to do anything other than stand up. It kills another 30 seconds on the clock here. Plays into the Wildcats' hands, and they get a free kick in a dangerous area.
Sears, LaFleur, Flotra, and Vatney create the wall. Meg Bodie, who scored earlier the second goal, stands over this. Tried to roll it past the wall. Barnett was there.
Yeah, big area for Bodie to play in. You can see what she's trying to do, but Barnett reads the danger and gets across to deal with it. But again, you're running another 30 seconds off the clock here if you're Northwestern, and that's all they've got to do at this point, manage the clock.
We've got another substitution coming on here. It is Emma Phillips back into the game. Glad to see she's okay. She's on for Ella Haas. So Phillips goes back to her center back spot. And Brooke Miller and Danica Austin rotate. Miller back to the midfield, Austin back to the wide right. Emma Phillips scored in the 17th minute on a header. Beautiful play from one of only two Northwestern corner kicks all game. And then 2.5 minutes later, Northwestern scored its second goal. Araya Del Carmen, a beautiful turn in the middle of the field. Laid it ahead to Meg Bodie, who finished. Those two goals were 2 minutes and 46 seconds apart. And that has stood up right now. 2-0 Northwestern over the Buckeyes. Jones looking for Votny. Ahead to Fisher. Ohio State does not have a numerical advantage here. Kayla had her shot blocked, and that was that.
The shape's really good from Northwestern. Defensively without the ball, they're very good. There's, again, second half change to the diamond that's posed some questions. Votny once more, it's her picking up a spot, managing to influence the game, finds the ball to Fisher, but when Fisher gets turned and she's running in on goal, it's 1 against 3 and the angle just gets worse and worse. She tries to get the shot off, but to no avail.
Ohio State has registered 3 shots in this second half, but only one of them has even been, I mean, technically neither were on goal, but I guess only one of them was a reasonable shot. The others were direct kicks, but they were non-threatening.
And normally when you're chasing a game like this, the answer is to throw more bodies forward, but the fact is they started the game with 3 up top and that wasn't working. In this shape, they're at least posing the odd threat.
Good play by Barnett.
That might be the next move from Ohio State. If they really are keen on chasing this game here, it might be that Barnett gets licensed to go further forward, whether it's a makeshift forward type of idea.
Gasick is waiting to check back in. You would assume she'd come in for LaFleur. And here she comes. It is for Nina. So left back straight up.
Yeah, it's like for like. Gasick, she's not done a great deal wrong when she played today as such, but again going forward, because she has to come back in on her right foot all the time, they miss that natural width.
McNamara trying to win it away from Ingrid Falls. I like the idea of the back heel touch, but Ohio State was ready for it. Jones connects with Fisher. Bodie wins it.
She's an excellent second half, Bodie.
But she had a pretty good first half too.
Yeah, certainly. She's not done a great deal wrong at all today. She's, taken her goal very well in the first half. But second half, when Ohio State tried to pose a different question, she's just upped her game even more here, and she's influencing the game. She's getting on the ball. A couple of times we saw her dribbling at the Buckeyes back line as well. Very good. And to be fair to Northwestern, there's not really been anyone in the team that you could single out and say they've not had a good game. Across the board, they've been very, very commendable today.
Final 10 minutes of regulation as we look around the league, where Wisconsin is hammering Nebraska 4-1. So Wisconsin appears as though they're on a way to a 6th win, which would give them 19 points and put them in the conversation for a chance to be a top 4 seed in this tournament. Another change here for Northwestern. This time it's Francesca Doctors who comes off. She was just in there briefly. And Josie Alessino comes in. Nebraska would hold at 17 points, and I think they would be stuck going on the road next weekend. Rutgers and Michigan State continue to play a deadlocked, scoreless game. They are late, 73rd minute now. Got another substitution coming, this time for both sides. Ella Haas comes in, and Ohio State checks Votny out. And they bring Gianola in, sending Bombeck from near to far side. Minnesota has a 2-1 lead over Illinois. Minnesota, right now, that would certainly help them. They need a win to solidify things. That's potentially could give them a chance to avoid Michigan State. We'll see how the rest of things shake out. Penn State and Iowa tied at 1. Maryland leads Purdue 3-1. And unfortunately, I still don't know what's going on between Michigan and Indiana because we can't see the scoreboard in that game.
It's interesting. We talked about it before the game, how tight it was here. Wisconsin, they started today in 7th place. They could end up as high as 3rd here, depending on how the results finish.
I'm going to cut you off just for a second. It's 1-0 Indiana over Michigan. That game's in the 85th minute. But neither one of those two teams will factor into the final tally because they're both going to miss the tournament. 7.5 minutes to go here. We'll try to give you an updated look at the Big Ten standings if we can at the end of the game. It might be difficult with a lot of games finishing at the same time, but Northwestern right now appears on their way to a victory, and if they do win, they'd hold the hold the second spot in the league, and they would certainly host a quarterfinal game in Evanston.
Yeah, and as things stand, Ohio State's going to miss out on one of the top 4 places.
Buckeyes are certainly tournament bound, but we'll see if they have a chance to host or not, as McNamara sent one from about 30 yards away over the top of the bar.
No, she's capable of it. She scored a few goals from distance this season. Unfortunately, sort of sums up the day today for Ohio State. It's up, it's high, it's over the bar. Doesn't really threaten Rabin in any way.
If you're an Ohio State fan watching, you're hoping that Michigan State can knock Rutgers off rather than giving Rutgers an additional point. There are a lot of tiebreaker scenarios, and it's not entirely sure how they would all fit together. Ohio State beat Nebraska, so that would help. McNamara, another chance, and finally a threatening play.
It's the best strike of the second half. Finally, somebody gets a hold of it. McNamara works the angle. It's a good strike, but Rabin, as we've said a couple of times today, when she's been called into action, she's been comfortable, she deals with it.
About to enter the 85th minute. Barnett wins it away. Talani taps to her right. McNamara on a through ball, too far in front of Sears.
Just see the replay here, McNamara. Good feet. We know this is what she's about. Attacking midfielder or a forward. She works the opening. It's the best strike they've seen all day. But again, Rabin, she's been in the right place when called upon.
McNamara.
Good ball.
Taps it forward to Sears. Emma Sears with a tight angle shot. She misses wide right.
It's the first little bit of intricate play in and around the box. McNamara, she's influenced the game here in the last minute. She gets on it again. She recognises the run from Sears, plays it in. Sears just tries to open the body. You see what she's trying to do. She's just trying to find the far side netting. Gets it wrong, just opens the body a little bit too much, pushes it past the far post.
Ohio State, is it too little too late? Northwestern taking some valuable time off the clock here. Gasick chests it down, taps it forward, intercepted by Loppe. Wide on the left, here come the Wildcats. And Pritchard taps it before it goes out of play. Northwestern with a corner with 4.5 to go.
Yeah, just running down the clock again. Haas gets in, she's in behind Jones, runs on her left side. Pritchard, she's not sure if it's going to go past the post or not. She gets a touch on it. Corner kick here. Wildcats look like they've got the job done today on the road. 4 minutes to go, just need to see it out.
Played into the middle. Sydney Jones was there to help clear it away. Final 4 minutes of regulation.
It was Regazzino with a leap initially. She's up there. She gets herself on the end of it.
Fisher wanted to turn. The ball just wouldn't cooperate. Wins the foul, though. Time is running out for the Scarlet and Gray. Well, Michigan State, Northwestern, and Wisconsin for sure are all going to have more points than Ohio State. Rutgers is still scoreless with Michigan State, so we'll see how that ends up. But, of course, Rutgers beat the Buckeyes. This one is chipped over to the side. What a play by Pritchard. It spills away. Great pressure put on by Northwestern. Del Carmen just wouldn't give up on the play. Wildcats still not quite losing things. Another chance from Bodie. How about these Wildcats and the finish they're putting together?
Yeah, they've been really impressive today. Thoroughly deserving of your win, they'd have to say. Pritchard there, she's strong. She's out at the feet. You know, you could take one in the head there. It's one of those that can sometimes come off with a confrontation, but she's strong. She gets back up, makes a second save as well. But from Northwestern, excellent team performance from them. Brave diving down at the feet of Del Carmen there as she's coming in on the ball.
Big10.org is the official site, of course, for all Big Ten information, and I'm certain that they will post the appropriate information on the Big Ten tournament as soon as everything becomes official. But it is trending toward Ohio State having a road game to open up the Big Ten quarterfinals next weekend. We'll let Big Ten Conference Office confirm that. Northwestern, if they can hang on to win 2-0 here, or by any other margin, frankly, they will be the number 2 seed in the tournament. Matchups to be determined. The quarterfinal rounds are on campus sites at the 4 highest seeds, with the semifinals and championship set for lower.com field, neutral site here in Columbus.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't look good just looking at the scores just now. I don't really see a way for Ohio State to stay in the top 4 today.
It's been a joy to watch the Buckeyes throughout the course of the season and to watch this Northwestern team from afar. And certainly appreciate you making Big Ten Plus your home for all things Ohio State women's soccer this year. The entire athletic department, women's soccer program are grateful for your support. I want to wish both of these teams the best of luck as they chase a Big Ten tournament championship here in 2022. We'll stop the clock for just a second at 46. Play resumes.
Yeah, I don't think the referee needs to worry about any time wasting now. It's job done here. There's not long enough left in the game. It's as simple as that. And Northwestern worthy winners today.
So Northwestern's going to go to 13-3-2, 7-2-1 in conference play to wrap the season. Ohio State will go to 10-4-3. They fall to 5-3-2 in Big Ten standings. We'll have a free kick potentially with 15 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, I suspect this will just be ball to the corner. Final whistle before somebody gets kicked here.
So just some histrionics at the end, and that's that. And the regular season is over. Northwestern Wildcats with a great win over the Ohio State Buckeyes, 2-0. Emma Phillips with an early goal to give Northwestern the lead, followed shortly thereafter by Meg Bodie. Those two were enough